to the Saturn returners to Capricorn, and I am looking at the window. I always see seagulls when I'm doing these videos in the car, but today I see blackbirds, and it's so crazy because the universe is always mirroring you. And so I just had to say black, right, is also a Saturn energy color. And so wearing black during this time, here's a couple of things. The first thing is it can be a great way to honor Saturn, but it can also be a very absorbing energy, which goes into my mind about the idea of absorbing a lot of energies around you. And you may actually have this as a part of the theme as well. How do you deal with the energy of criticism? And in some ways, people may not be able to criticize you very well, but you absorb that energy so strongly that you can feel and sense that there are critical eyes, there are critical intonations or subliminal messages that come to you, mainly because it's very difficult to criticize Saturn and Capricorn folks. Maybe to some degree, you may have had some sort of something like that in your face, but people kind of see you as an authority, and there is a little bit of fear and anxiety that you project outward. And so that is also something that I wanted to say about the absorbing of energies, right? So Saturn in a Capricorn has a lot to do with power and lack thereof. And as I said, this is happening on a global level, but you represent this energy, right? So you have had this throughout your life. You've had these themes throughout your life versus everyone right now who's going through this transit at this moment, who are experiencing this right now, right? For you, it's consistently a lesson, a karmic lesson about how it is that you feel when it comes to being powerful. Now, the concept of power can also be seen by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, which is also the color black in a lot of ways, right? But here's the difference between Capricorn power and Scorpio power, right? And oh, I see the blackbird. I wanted to grab it for you guys. If I get a good one, I'm going to show it to you. It's perfect for this video because I never see blackbirds. Anyway, Scorpio power is feeling on the inside, right? It's this intense feeling of I have presence, right? And I can be known, right? And that is Scorpio's power. Scorpio's power is also about my capability, because Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, right? So Mars mixed in with Pluto is about my ability to do so, right? It's also about my ability to pay for it to be done or my ability to take my power. That's Scorpio, right? Capricorn's power is interesting, in which it is about the title and the recognition of that power. So Scorpio does not have to be seen. Scorpio is hidden. But Capricorn, to some degree, requires that power is seen. And how is power seen? Usually by the metaphorical trophy, but also by labels, right? And this is why police, right, and security and those things, they have evident power, right? Because the flashing lights is a sign of their presence and power. So where Scorpio's felt, right, with Capricorn, it is seen, it is labeled, it has form as well. It has a title. It is recognized. So somebody who is meek can still be empowered with the Capricorn energy, right? And then that's how they could also abuse the power, right? They don't really feel very powerful inside, which is a Scorpio energy, but they have the title of power. They have the label or the uniform or the lights of power. And that is how they are powerful. So power is also many multi-leveled in its own way of understanding it. So for your sign, Saturn and Capricorn, this is about the recognition of power. And maybe you have been challenged and delayed with this very, very thing. Or you have signed up for something powerful, like being in a uniform or being a part of a certain corporation, so that you could be recognized and be seen as powerful, right? So these themes are also coming up. And why is it that this is so bad, right? Or why is it that you may struggle? Well, the struggle is because at first you deal with the lack of that actual title and power, right? And then through the lack of it, right, through the taking it away, through the delay of feeling or having that power, you were then given it because you take it, because you go after it, due to the fact that you were challenged by that authority, right? And so this is why your relationship to authority is the ultimate theme of Saturn and Capricorn, because there will always be somebody who's more powerful than you, that has an authority over you, even when it is not your boss anymore. Even when you become your own boss, there will be something that can be more powerful than you, like God itself, right? Or your parents, or just somebody who appears to have a title or recognition that you don't have, right? So a lot of this is dealing with that power, that need for power, due to the suppression of being under somebody else's power, right? And this is where we have to let go of needing to have that title so that you can find your own. And when you also understand that your ultimate power is that Scorpio energy, right? To feel powerful in presence, then you're also not in a mode where you are ruthless to get that power, right? By any means necessary. Now, some may actually take that route, and it's not up to me to judge. But that is what may end up happening when you feel so abused and repressed yourself, that now it is time for you to be that ultimate thing. And then you over abuse it and just take it out on the next person who maybe works under you, or who is under now your command. So all of these things and all of these lessons are what is ringing very strongly for you. Through a Saturn return, we often feel isolated. And the reason that we feel isolated is because of your Saturn in Capricorn, right? Because it's lonely at the top. And when you're reaching for the top, you find that you will have to let go of certain associations and even this feeling of nourishment. You may have to let go of some of those sensitivities and become what Capricorn is, which is cold, right? Cold earth, right? Dry. So, which is not, it's not about bad, but it's just what it is. And so you're also dealing with that isolation if you do decide to make that shift. And you may be provoked regardless. Because in a Saturn return, a confrontation is inevitable. And when Saturn is in Capricorn, the confrontation with what you deem as the authority is inevitable. But how you handle that confrontation can be the true meaning of how you use your power, right? So this is a lot about how you deal with authority. And that is the main thing. But as I'm thinking about it, the other thing that I know to be true about Capricorn energy is what Capricorn rules over in the body. And for Saturn and Capricorn, this may be your relationship to bones, knees, and skin as well. And this is how things take form, because Saturn is about form. It brings things together. It solidifies, it crystallizes things, right? You have an idea, but when it is Saturn, it is put into a manifestation that can work, you know. So Saturn is ruler of time, and this has a lot to do with your relationship to time. And Saturn is ruler of form, and other ways in which we are formed is by the skin. The skin forms the whole body, right? So there may be some kind of relationship to how your skin is, right? Maybe you are accepted or not accepted by skin, maybe skin color to be exact. That's a deep occult understanding, to a degree, of which I won't really get into now, but maybe it's about being too light, too dark, right? Maybe there is a skin issue when it just comes to, rashes or acne, eczema, things like that. And then maybe it's a bone issue as well, bone marrow issue, the relationship to your knees, right? So all of this is themes of Saturn in Capricorn that can come up for you. And this is calculated effort, hard work that you can apply to these themes in order to get where it is that you desire to be in the next 2.5 years. But because this is your Saturn return, it's even more so a strong pressure for you to get there. And because it's a Saturn return, you may feel the heaviness of it even more. Now, to understand how Saturn in Capricorn is affecting you through the houses, I actually now have a channel called Astro Geeks TV, and just started it, but I will be posting Saturn and Capricorn transit through the houses. So that is for everyone, but also for you, those who are going through their Saturn return, check that out, because that will help to hone in on the areas of manifestation in life, on how it may transpire. And if you have questions about looking at your actual chart and how Saturn is going to be affected due to how you're born and what relationship Saturn is having with the other planets in your chart, then you can hit me up and I will provide for you info on how you can get a reading with me, and we'll talk about it. But this is really just to get you started. So thank you so much for tuning in to Saturn return to Capricorn. It's going to be quite a ride. And I just wish you everything you wanted, especially that trophy.